Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to RENEBOXYOUNG, a platform where we simply discuss, critique, analyze, simply talk about sport of boxing in a level-headed, mature, coherent fashion. Subscribers since day one. Recent subscribers, we appreciate you. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the Flash Lives, the previously live scheduled sessions such as this. And I just want to get right to this, man, because, you know, Shadasia Green right now, she's kind of busy a little bit, and she dedicated a couple minutes out here, hey, to get on the show, and I'm definitely excited. Top-notch contender, middleweight is what I'm talking about, man. So, hey, Shadasia, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, man, and I just want to say thanks again for, you know, committing your time to me, and I just appreciate talking to you guys today.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Oh, let me correct myself. Super middleweight, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Super middleweight. Yep.
Definitely. Soon to be champ. I believe it. I believe it. Soon to be champ. That's what I'm talking about. So, man, Shadasia.
Love that.
Congratulations, significant other. You're going to have a wonderful weekend, I'm assuming, right?
Somewhat. I mean, we went on vacation, you know, took her on vacation, and it's her birthday, so I'm going to do my best to make her feel special, but I'm still training. Still training and whatnot, you know, got to do that.
Definitely, definitely. So I just want to get right to the questions, man. Definitely, because like I said, I've been following you for a minute. I love what I see. I've been following you since before you got into MVP, and that's a recent, you know, opportunity there. And hey, congratulations to this opportunity at MVP. How do you feel there, first and foremost?
I feel great. I feel like MVP is definitely they're a force to be reckoned with, a powerhouse. Um, you know, they're doing prominent and dominant things in boxing. They know how to, you know, get the audience involved, and they give the people what they want. So just to be blessed with the opportunity to fight alongside, you know, who I look at as legendary and one of my mentors, Amanda Serrano, and Jake Paul, who is, you know, really closing the gap and really just, you know, breaking history, breaking records, and H2O Ashton, and now Wana, young kid who's a beast. MVP is doing great things.
That's awesome. Those who are jumping in the building, Jay Gibson, Ricky Williams, I see y'all. Just Do Boxing. Thank guys. If anybody has questions for the champ, you already know, man. Shoot them up there in the comment section. Thank guys so much for jumping in. Family who's jumping in, thank guys so much. PJH, I see you. Yeah, Shadasia, I just want to get right to this also. Like, I love to start with the roots when I have interviews with fighters. How did you start boxing?
Wow, this is an amazing story. So I was a basketball player. I was a big-time basketball player, and I played for Patterson Eastside. And if you know anything about Patterson Eastside, Edward Black was always the head coach, and he just, you know, he was real critical of even some of my dominating performances on the court, and he would just criticize me about my footwork, about me being in shape, and I wasn't going to run. And that's what he was suggesting that I do. Hey, why don't you go and try pick up track? And I'm like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. So I happened to be, you know, in the area of Patterson, New Jersey, where there were prominent a dominant boxing gym by the name of Ike's and Randy's, where everybody would go and get started. And I went in there, and I started boxing. I paid my monthly dues, and I ran into a guy by the name of Barry Porter, and it took off from there. Once I met Barry, I found out what it was to learn, to grow, and I instantly fell in love with boxing. So my mother made me go to school. I had scholarships on the table. I was nominated All-American for basketball. So she said, listen, let this fulfill your education. The educational aspect of it, meet new people, go in, enjoy the experience, and then if it doesn't pan out that basketball is what you want to do and you want to come back to box, then come back, as long as you hand me that degree, we good to go. And that's what I did.
Right on. Yeah, I was going to ask you that as a matter of fact about your basketball experience. You just threw it out there. So that was the root. That's what got you boxing.
Most certainly, basketball. Wanting to be great at basketball, and then I fell for another sport that was way more complicated. It shook me up, my nerves, and even now, with all the politics and the waiting games that I have to play and the things that transpire in the sport, I love it so much. I could be nervous before a fight. You'll never be able to tell, but I love that feeling. Like the things that really just pump you up to thrive. Like getting in the ring in front of thousands of people, and the next person across from you is trying to take your head off. I love it.
Wow, man. So And you just brought out there. I mean, that's my question I have sometimes with fighters. And sometimes when I watch fights, every time I watch fights, man, we as fans, we're sitting here, behind the screen or there in in the crowd or what have you. And we also get nervous. I didn't know, like, so you get nervous before fights too.
I get nervous about anything I care about.
Mm.
Once they tell me who my opponent is, even if I feel like they're not on my level, when I'm going back and I'm in the gym, I just look. I care about it. I care about making weight. I care about looking good. I care about feeling good. I care about sparring good. I care about pleasing my coaches and pleasing myself and my family and my friends and for the fans who tune in to watch me. Without them, we wouldn't exist. Honestly, what's an empty, like, I used to fight in those gyms that were completely empty. Or I remember one time fighting when I seen two roosters doing laps around the ring. And I cared about it then. So I care about it.
I love it. I love it. We got a question real quick. ODU baller, definitely. Ricky Williams says here, he says, yeah, that's right. The recent, announcement, you just talked about it right now about Amanda Serrano, salute to her, champ. They're establishing now 3-minute rounds, 12 rounds. What do you think about that?
I love what Amanda Serrano was doing. She with that one, she's definitely changing the scapes of the sport. I wouldn't mind doing, 3-minute rounds, 12 rounds. I think that'll kick my knockout percentage up a lot. I mean, as you can see in my last fight, I was having my opponent hurt in the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th round, and then 10 seconds to go, they get a chance to recover. The only thing that I would ask is pay how you play. If I'm doing 12-minute round, if I'm doing 12 rounds, 3 minutes, pay me that amount that is worthy of seeing that battle for that long.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I definitely agree. And y'all heard it out there. Anybody tuning in and on the playback, pay up. Pay up to what it is. You know what I'm saying? Let's be fair about it with the pro women. I don't know how they're going to go about it. And I don't know with the sanctioning bodies and what have you. But this is, if I'm not mistaken, Amanda Serrano, this is undisputed. She's going to be defending her undisputed spot, if I'm not mistaken. So it sounds like the sanctioning bodies are in on it. Or go ahead, Shadasia.
Most of them, but I think it's unified because you got one sanctioned body who's not really too keen to it, which is the WBC. But either or, I can understand, their plight about it and their research and whatnot. Again, it's a tough call because should it be left to the fighters who are actually getting there, taking all the risks? Research probably shows that people shouldn't be boxing at all. It's inhumane to take the punishment that we do, things that we put our bodies through, but we still get in there, we do, and we put on the show. So it's touch and go on that. I mean, I'm not in a position to elaborate on what someone else should do, what the sanctioned body should allow. I'm just a fighter who loves to fight,
Yeah, exactly. That very well said. Very well said. PGH says here, he's asking a question. He says, do you miss basketball? Would you like to be in the WNBA by now? Would you be in it?
I wouldn't change my life. I wouldn't, but with basketball, I had to work at it every day, just like boxing. So right now, if I wasn't really consistently doing it and working out at it, then I just love boxing. I can't even watch basketball. Who am I kidding? I don't miss it. I don't miss it.
Oh, wow. I thought you had a little love still for basketball, No?
I don't got
Boxing took over.
Completely. Yeah, definitely.
That's right on. Oh, Ricky says here, where can do you have merch out, Shadasia?
I had some socks, some shirts, but they went quick. As you can see, I'm out and about now. I just finished training my kids, so I gotta learn how to settle down and create some more merch, and get it out there. Coach Wall from Oakland, he sells a lot of merch, with certain comments and stuff that I make. He's really good at that. He's one of my other gyms that I train now and part of my team. Austin Wall is also another previous All-American wrestler too. Has a wrestling facility, a beautiful facility that I do my second sessions at. So I'm gonna try to talk to him and see, how we can go about me getting some merch and getting the website started, to see what he thinks, pick his brain a little bit, because he's really smart with that, with all, like, just being an athlete as a whole, running as a business. He always tells me you have to run yourself like a business. So I'm gonna sit down and try to get some merch out there soon.
No, okay, definitely awesome. I remember, I think I heard one of your interviews some time ago. I don't remember when it was, but I think you talked about something like, in each fight you learned something, right? What did you learn from the last fight you had?
Oh my God, I learned a lot. Every time I watch that fight, I'm not gonna watch it anymore. But every time I watch that fight, I went from, I give myself a C plus, a C minus, to the point where, like, now I'm at a DF. It's just a lot of things that I would have done different. I understand it was a dominating performance, and watching it in the arena is completely different from watching it on the outside. It's just so many things that I learned. I need to just utilize my defensive mechanisms a lot more. This fight was completely different from the last fight I fought. I went towards her a lot. I wanted the knockout, so I sat there and necessarily caught and trade. But I could have bent my knees a lot more. I could have countered off of the roll. I could have one shoulder and made her run into stuff. I just could have been 10 times better. Every fight is a learning experience. This was a solid competitor who sent me right back to the gym to work on all the things that I was missing that fight, that I had in my arsenal but I didn't use. So that's practically it. I'm hard on myself, and I don't look at what I did right. I look at the millions of things I did wrong.
Wow. I mean, when I saw the fight, I thought, man, Shadasia doing her thing. Definitely. I love watching you fight, man. The skills. I love how you fight. The power, of course, is always there. Matter of fact, when did you discover your power, man? When you started boxing, when did you discover that?
2 fights ago.
Whoa, 2 fights ago, man. Whoa, recently.
I'll say this. I'm more in love with my skill set, my defense, and my IQ than my power. The power is the cherry on top, but I am more in love with everything else than the power.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I love watching you fight, because I love watching fighters, portray their craft, that art, that skill set, that science, man. That's what I love watching. That's why I love watching you, man. We got a quick question here from Jay, similar to how was the Cedros fight? Classic for me.
Cedros was very, very tough. I watched that fight today, and because my coach was telling me something in training, and I kept asking him, like I'm like, yo, I wasn't bending my knees. He was like, but you did last fight, so it's in you. And it was a lot of things that I did with Cedros that were completely different than with Curry. And Cedros was tough. Unified world champion, 2-time world champion, KO power to some sort. But it definitely was classic. It was like my coming out party. And I also I do a lot of studying. Like, I listened to Roy Jones, and somebody asked him about, like, how Canelo would do with Charlo coming off of a performance like Ryder. And Roy said, listen, you can't judge him off that performance, because Canelo knows what Jermell Charlo possessed. So he's going to train. He's going to bring, like, if you're going to play the Golden State Warriors, you bring your A game. But if you're going to play the Knicks, you might not show up just as much. So I never want to make that mistake. I feel like those performances are needed and necessary. But the Cedros fight was a pretty tough one, and it was a good one, and I enjoyed it. I really did. She put a lot of pressure on me, and I loved it. It brought the best out of me. Well, some of the best, because there's so much more I got to show. Trust me, it's so much more.
Yeah, definitely. And like what you said, I think, it's nice to hear that you're pretty much your worst critic. You're your hardest critic on yourself,
Absolutely. No, nobody's tougher on me than probably my mom. My mom is tougher. She wasn't so sweet this last time. So, she's been upset about the fight, but that's what happens when you spoil your fans. You get somebody who, in the women's division, you don't see that KO ratio as well as you do, and with skills alongside to go with it, and then a nice personality who, my demeanor is completely different outside of the ring. You would not think that I am a KO puncher by the way that, and even the guys in the gym, they bang on me a little bit, they tough in here. So, I enjoy myself, but not too much. But I enjoy the levels to myself.
Definitely. I love it, man. I love that. I can talk to you all day. I say that to my guests all the time. I can talk to you all. PGA says here, what order would you put these in? Fame, legacy, and money.
Legacy, money, fame.
Yes. Yes, I love it. I love it. You're the legacy-minded fighter.
Legacy, yep. Because with the legacy, if it's done right, it'll bring the money. And we all know we love the money. In lie and say, I don't want the money. I got a family to take care of. I got a wife, kid, nieces and nephews. My legacy will teach my nieces and nephews that anything that you put your mind to, if you give it 110, 120%, you can achieve and conquer anything. You
Heck
can't do
yeah.
all that without, you cannot do all that without getting some sort of fame. And that's why that's the way that I put those things. You know?
Oh, definitely, definitely. I love this, man. And these questions are coming out. Thank God so much for these questions, man. Are PEDs a major problem in women's boxing too? What do you think about that, Shadasia?
Um, I wouldn't say it hasn't been a major problem until it's overlooked. What I mean by that is the way the stipulations and the structure of the men's program, where you have to get tested, especially between what and what, um, fights and different unification fights and undisputed fights. Like they're basically, because it's been like, even going back to other eras, it was known that men were going to be tested. Wasn't too much known that women were going to be tested. You didn't hear about that in the late Ali and all those type of eras. Well, we had bottle tests, we had this, we had that. So now, with the equality going on, and women being just as good, and winning undisputeds and winning in unifications, I just feel like they should tighten up on the testing, proper timing, and I think that'll be the solution to the problem, man. We just keep a clean sport, you never know, man. I just vow to stay true and stay clean to the sport that I love so much, and never do anything to abuse it. Because I mean, I can't even wear a pair of sneakers that's not mine. Because I'm looking good in the sneakers and I'm looking good in the pants, but it's not mine. I got to hand them to somebody else. So imagine having a performance that is solely based off PEDs. It's not you really performing.
Facts, man. I love it. I love it. PJH also, he asks here, who's the hardest puncher you've been in the ring with?
I mean, as a professional, uh, I'm gonna give you three answers. As a profession, well, not three answers, but as a professional, I would have to say, Sedaros. Obviously, she was more calculated and more a little bit more technical, and come forward. So it was the elevation of her pressing forward too, to have those that power behind her punches. Um, Out of my 13 fights, that's probably my answer. I fought a girl from Romaine too that was one of a really heavy thumper when I was an amateur, and the 2016 World Championships. Really, really puncher, really, really hard puncher, and we were at heavyweight, so I still remember that. But yep.
Wow. Shawa says here, salute and Shadasia Green, future undisputed champ. All that. Speaking of that, so you're top notch contender right now. You got Marshall, I think, is ahead of you, and just a couple of sanctioned bodies, and on top is Franchon Cruz, if I'm not mistaken. Who do you have any fights lined up for your next fight?
Well, the main priority is Savannah Marshall. I'm actually ranked number one in all the sanctioned bodies. The last time I checked, it could have changed.
Oh, okay.
But I'm also mandatory for the WBC and I believe the WBO. Um, so that's the fight I want next. I feel like my time and my turn is way overdue. I was mandatory for Franchon, and she chose to go to England and fight Savannah Marshall, who was contending at 160. I believe that Savannah suffered a hand injury and may need surgery. I've been in talks with my team to see about what it is that we want to do. I first said to wait, but of course that long, I think the best thing for me to do is to stay busy too. So I don't know. We got to come to the drawing board because everybody has a different opinion, and unfortunately, um, I could speak about what it is that I want to do, and uh, you know, hey, look, be firm and like, listen, I want to fight. Give me a stay busy fight. But I got a force behind me, and I got other people who is a part of that decision. God willing, I do the best thing. But the main thing is we get that shot at Savannah Marshall.
Wow. Wow. You know, I think the higher you get in the rankings, maybe you can speak from experience. That's why I kind of want to bring this out. Is that I think the higher you get in the rankings, the harder it is to make them top fights, isn't it? Is that the case?
Just in my division. In every other division, I feel like that fighters are looking to make the best fights with the best possible source. Think about it. Chantel Cameron was ranked pretty high and got a shot at an undisputed title and won. And her and Katie Taylor got it on. Katie Taylor and Amanda. Alicia Baumgartner and Michaela.
That's right.
The only person that's not getting the shot is me.
Mm.
And it has to be some sort of reason. I guess I'm high risk, low reward. Well, how can I be a high risk and low reward if I got the biggest promotional company backing me besides Eddie Hearns? So, the biggest with MVP, they're known to have made the biggest payday of women's boxing history ever with Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. So, I guess, I don't know, maybe people are a little afraid of the power, the skill,
Maybe it's this reason. Let's say it here. Franchon and Savannah, Franchon and Clarissa are dodging Shadasia. I don't know, man. We don't know, right? I mean, it's something.
No. One thing I can say is Clarissa has said on numerous times that she's willing to fight me. It's just unfortunate for Clarissa because Clarissa has her accolades. Clarissa has done so much for the sport. She's at 160, and of course we have our beef or whatever. But I'm at 168. I want to go and define my legacy, and then we can both sit at the table. That we both bring something to the table and get it on with I have no problem fighting Clarissa Shields. I think that'd be a mega fight. But before it can be mega, I need to make sure that I'm undisputed because that's the mega fight in my life. You're undisputed. If you sell it to the fans, it's just basically what it'll look like is undisputed champion Clarissa Shields is fighting Shadasia Green, top contender. This is just somebody to give possibly Clarissa a run for her money and beat her. But as far as the status behind her, she's 13-0 with 11 KOs. Is she undisputed? No. She has a WBC silver, but she's not undisputed. You know what I'm saying? So, and on top of that, you just got to be smart. Again, legacy, then money. So let me go and get my legacy so we can make sure that this money is right. And then I can handle you like I know I can.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I haven't really followed that aspect. So there is an action. I thought you handle it more professionally. I don't know. So there is a beef going on between you two.
I mean, she just says little things, and my response is always professional. Will always remains professional.
Right.
Well, she's just not. She's used to the back and forth, evidently, but I'm just. I speak politically correct. That's it. I have any beef. Because she's a top fighter or she's one of the best female fighters on the planet. I acknowledge that. I acknowledge that she's skillful. I never judge her, and I never down talk her. I think her promoter said that I was basically clout chousing off of her name, and I think that's 100% inaccurate and incorrect. Anytime that me and her go back and forth, Clarissa Shields initiates it. So that's neither here nor there. I mean, I look forward to seeing her in the future, like big time, like licking my chops.
Heck yeah, and that's what I just wanted to clarify because I've noticed from your side of the side of the ball court, whatever, you're quite professional in it. You know what I'm saying? So, and yeah, I'm definitely licking my chops to see that. Hopefully, Lord willing, soon. We got here. Shaw was saying they're scared to get KO'd by Shadasia. High risk / scared of the power. Shawa 100% makes sense. Yeah, definitely, man. Quick question. I don't want to make it too long because I know you got things to do. Shadasia, how are your dealings with Jake Paul? Do you talk to him much? Him being MVP there. I mean, do you guys talk much at all?
I do most of my talking to Nikisa and then my personal managers and Danny Soto. I see Jake Paul at the fights. We'll, you know, or when we go like to the photo shoots, we'll talk a bit. But Jake Paul he has his own circle. He's always busy, always got his hands doing something. So I don't really get to talk to him much, and I think that's the same for all of us. Uh, Being signed to a promoter and your boxing life outside of that promoter is completely different. We have a different circle of friends that we talk to and confide in. Um, I know that he has 100% faith in me, and that's what I respect most. So that's it.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. So hey, you probably have to be going. Thank you guys so much. Those who tuned in, those who asked these amazing questions. Shadasia, any last words, and where can they follow you? Where can the family follow you?
Please, I really enjoyed this interview. You asked me some great questions, and your content. Follow me at Shadasia_Green on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Is all the same. I have a tendency to always respond to anybody. People always say like, "Wow, she responded." I respond to everybody because the fans is what makes these type of fights and this sport exciting. You guys demand it, we deliver it. Much love and respect to all of you who tuned in today. I appreciate you.
Well, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for your valuable time. And once again, congratulations, to you, significant other, your family, right? Thank you guys so much. Yeah, those who tuned in, and Shadasia, my blessings up to you, your family, I'm saying? Definitely. We see Shawa saying here real quick, we love you, Shadasia. Stay on that throne and know you got people out here riding for you. That was a perfect conclusion.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Shawa. I really appreciate that. And that means the most to me. And I'm going to stay with it.
Heck yes. And I can't wait for the next fight announcement, whether it be, to stay busy or whatever. I just can't wait to see you in the ring again. Okay, I can't wait.
Thank you.
So we'll be in contact, champ, and direct messages and DMs, okay?
Okay. Yep. For sure.
Right on. Peace. Stay safe.